Close-up of a sprig of rosemary delicately placed atop an ancient, leather-bound text. The light catches the fine details of both the herb and the aged pages. Transition to a dimly lit recreation of an ancient Egyptian burial chamber. Rosemary sprigs are scattered amongst the sarcophagi and hieroglyphic carvings. Quick cut to a medieval European church interior. Mourners, dressed in dark clothing, hold rosemary during a somber funeral service. Sunlight streams through stained glass windows. Montage of various historical images and reenactments showing rosemary being used in different funerary rites across cultures, Roman, Greek, and early Christian traditions. Medium shot of a historian's hands carefully turning the pages of a historical book, revealing illustrations and text describing the symbolism of rosemary in remembrance ceremonies. Fade out to a single sprig of rosemary lying on a modern memorial stone, subtly emphasizing the enduring legacy of rosemary as a symbol of remembrance throughout centuries. Wide shot of the etymology lab, filled with books, manuscripts, and linguistic analysis tools. A narrator explains the origins of the name Rosemary. Close up on an open historical text, showing the Latin phrase Ros Marinus. The narrator explains the literal translation, dew of the sea. Montage of various cultural artifacts and texts that associate rosemary with memory. The narrator clarifies that this association is cultural, not etymological. Shot of linguistic analysis charts comparing the evolution of the word rosemary across different languages, reinforcing the etymological explanation. Close up on a bride's hands, delicately holding a bouquet interspersed with rosemary sprigs. The light catches the silver jewelry on her fingers, emphasizing the rosemary's presence as a symbol of fidelity. Medium shot of a historical wedding ceremony. Guests are adorned with small rosemary boutonnieres. Soft, diffused light filters through stained glass windows, illuminating the solemn occasion. Wide shot of a somber funeral procession. Mourners carry rosemary sprigs, placing them on a coffin. The scene is reminiscent of a historical painting, with muted colors and dramatic lighting emphasizing remembrance. Close up on a rosemary sprig placed on a coffin. Dewdrops cling to the leaves, symbolizing loyalty and remembrance of the deceased. The wood grain of the coffin is visible, adding texture and depth. Wide shot of a modern, brightly lit scientific laboratory. Researchers in lab coats work at various stations surrounded by high-tech equipment. Close up on a researcher carefully analyzing brain scan images on a computer screen. The scans highlight areas associated with memory and cognitive function. Medium shot of an experimental setup. A participant sits at a table, inhaling the aroma of rosemary from a diffuser. Sensors monitor their brain activity and cognitive responses. Zoom in on a vial of rosemary essential oil. Light refracts through the glass, emphasizing the oil's purity and potential. Montage of quick cuts, showing various lab activities. Data analysis, equipment calibration, researcher collaboration. The montage conveys the ongoing scientific exploration of rosemary's effects. Wide shot of the art gallery, showcasing various exhibits related to rosemary's representation in literature and art. Soft, natural light filters through the gallery windows. Close up on a display featuring excerpts from Shakespearean plays where rosemary is mentioned. The text highlights the symbolism of remembrance and fidelity. Medium shot of a modern poetry exhibit, with lines about rosemary projected onto a screen. The words emphasize themes of love and enduring memory. Tracking shot along a timeline of rosemary's symbolic significance. From ancient times to contemporary memorial practices, artifacts and artworks illustrate each era. Final shot. A montage of images showing rosemary in various forms, in art, literature, and memorial services, accompanied by a voiceover summarizing its enduring symbolic meaning.